He knows where they are. He's got them GPS. He's coming back for them.
They'll still be in that spot. That's correct. Do we have a little bit of update on Mark Rose there, it looks like?
You know, we talked about a little bit ago, Mark Rose, what we believe is going to be one of our tournament leaders for the second day. You know, not really leading the tournament, but one of the bigger weights of the tournament. 12-pound mark, that's what we're really looking for. We think that's going to be our average or, you know, maybe top 5. As long as you can produce a 12-pound bag a day, you should be fishing on Sunday for sure. And Walmart Pro Mark Rose, we believe, has reached that mark.
How about Brent Ayler? What's he up to right now?
You know, the 2006 Forrest Wood Cup champion's been here before. He knows how to win at this level. He's won a ton of money with FLW, and he's making a slow comeback. You know, he didn't have quite the greatest day one, but he has creeped up a little over 10 pounds, what we believe, on the water right now.
And, you know, just to let everybody out there know, we also have co-anglers in these boats right now, to which we will know who the winner of that is after the end of competition today. Just to give you a quick rundown, our top 5 on those, Theo Krikorin. What a good story this is. This kid from Kansas City comes in with 14 pounds and 13 ounces yesterday to take the lead on the co-angler side. The great thing about that is he'd be sitting in front of Larry Nixon on the pro side right now.
If you have 14 pounds, you're sitting on the back of the boat, you know, in the remaining field. I mean, if you look all the way down into 5th place, tie for 5th with 8 pounds and 14 ounces, he's got to think he's got a huge lead going in this thing where the co-anglers only fish 2 days.
Right.
So he does have a good start. You know, he fished yesterday with Typhoon Pro Stetson Blaylock. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Spencer Sheffield.
Spencer Sheffield. Yes. And so that kind of branches us off over to Spencer. He's obviously around 14, 15-pound bags.
He is around the quality fish that he's looking for. You know, that can be nothing but a great thing for Spencer Sheffield, you know, for the rest of the day today and going forward in that. You know, just to run down the rest of our top 5, we also have Alan Woodford in second on the co-angler side. He had 10 pounds even. How about this? Our Kellogg's Angler of the Year on the co-angler side, Richard Peak, is sitting in third right now with 9 pounds and 5 ounces.
We talked a little bit today already. Consistency. We talked about the Kellogg's Angler of the Year, Andy Morgan. Right here we are. Again, consistency is coming back into play with the Kellogg's Co-Angler of the Year, Richard Peak, in the top 5.
You know, the hard thing about that is on the co-angler side, you're with a different boater every day. And so what you have to do is be as versatile as you can, because you may have done one thing one day. You hop in the boat, you know, sitting in third, and you might be fishing completely different, you know, on today. And, you know, that's just part of it, and that's what makes these guys how good as they are.
That's exactly right. How good they are is exactly what you said there. You have to be good doing everything. These are the best fishermen in the world, and to go behind them, they're vacuums. They don't miss much. And so for you to go behind them and catch a 5 bass limit worth 14 pounds, 13 ounces with the best in the world, you're a pretty good stick yourself.
Right, not to just bring it up, but Spencer yesterday did have 12 pounds and 8 ounces. So, you know, Theo actually beat him by a couple pounds yesterday alone out of the back of the boat.
More importantly, though, 27 pounds out of where he's fishing. Here we go. We got a little live on the water update by Brett Carlson to be coming to us. He's been on the Red River all day tracking and following some of the top pros. He's going to give us what he's been seeing right now and kind of what we can expect here going forward.
All right, thanks, Brett.
Just there was being found shot in the water and was on real. We held up back, but we on Ray. He would have kept for this morning. Ray started on flipping turn. Do you remember, you know, Ray?
It's okay, buddy.
Lost 1, 5 pounds.
Let's let him just take. I mean, they have had problems all day with it. Oh, okay. All right, I don't know. We might be having some trouble. You know, once you get into these lower pools in this river system, or even some of the upper ones, depending on, you know, just getting away from this greater Shreveport area, we do have some cell phone service issues and some communication issues. With that being said, we do have Twix Pro Mr. Jonathan Newton with us up on stage now. Jonathan, happy to have you here on the Cup Insider stage. You know, you saw what happened yesterday. We've talked about it with each and every one of the guys that have come up today. 2 18-pound sacks, whereas the rest of the field, I mean, you're looking at 13, 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 11, 11, 10, 9. Did you expect to see, even two guys, maybe one guy, but two guys come in with 18 pounds yesterday?
I'll be honest with you. When you think of the Red River, you obviously think of 12 to 13 pounds being a really, really good stringer, and it is a good stringer. But you take the guys that we have, they're very good fishermen. They know, they've done their homework. They're good at everything, every way they fish, they're good at it. And, you put a couple of those guys like Randall in there he's a good flipper. And, I expected to see more of the 13, 14-pound range, not as much of the 18-pound range.
Somebody said it earlier. Larry Nixon had 13.4 yesterday. As he's coming back in, and Larry Nixon, let's just go ahead and say it for what it is. He's one of the greatest bass fishermen of all time. And that's not just my opinion. That's across the board as far as I'm concerned. But he had to have thought that he was going to be right where and not saying he's not where he wants to be, but there is a 5-pound, gap in between third and second right now.
That's right. You take away, I know Randall had all consistent fish. Brian had a 7.5 pounder, 7.9 or something. Now you take that fish out, and Larry, if he keeps plugging along with 13 pounds a day, then he's right there where he needs to be. And I would definitely not take Larry Nixon out of winning this cup.
Yes, sir. How about that news you just heard about Ray Scheid? What, from the professional angler standpoint, what does his insides feel like right now, buddy?
He is turned inside out. Being an angler, you have those days where you can do nothing wrong. You have those days when you lose 2 or 3 in a row, and that is the biggest part of this sport that's so hard to keep concentrated, because you've got to completely – I had a guy tell me this one time when I was growing up. He said, don't let the last fish cost you the next fish. And that's what happens a lot of times with fishermen. They have in the back of their mind that I just lost 2 3-pounders or 2 4-pounders. Well, if you have that in your mind, you may lose the next one. Ray might have had that on his mind, but it's hard to say. That's it can completely. You can be up here 1 minute and down here the next, and it only takes a couple of casts to do that.
Let me ask you. Now, Ray, he had 12.7 yesterday. We know he's got probably at least a 10-pound stringer today, so it's looking like he is going to make this cut going into day 3. So with losing those 3 fish that we know that he's lost, does he continue today to try to work on those fish, or does he just need to maybe clear out of there, go try to find something else, and maybe come back and revisit them tomorrow?
Yeah, I think that's the key a lot of time, is just picking up and moving, completely abandoning what bait you're using. Obviously, if you're losing fish on something, it's not exactly what they wanted. Maybe you need to change up a little bit. And sometimes, he might do that and then come back tomorrow, and he might even come up with another lure that he can use, and he does that tomorrow, and he catches those 3 fish.
There you go. Now, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I know, currently you're sitting here getting interviewed by me, which means you're not out there on the water right now. But you've been to these Forrest Wood Cups. You've been a very successful angler across the board. What I want to know, and I think what people out there would like to know, is just what does it take, when you're going into a championship event, a Forrest Wood Cup, with a top purse of $500,000, how do you prepare yourself for that, Jonathan? What are the things that you can do to try to go in and where you can compete 100% to the top of your abilities?
The explanation, we don't have enough time for the whole answer, but it's going to sound simple what I say, but being prepared is a lot more than just hooking the boat up and taking off. To fish these tournaments, you have to fish them with a clear mind, which means you can't be worrying about cutting grass at home or something you forgot to do. You have to have everything from the house to all your fishing tackle to not to mention, make sure your boat is in perfect working condition, which we have the best equipment out here, but when you use it as much as we do, you have to check bolts and make sure your oil's good, make sure your hubs are good, make sure everything's good, so you don't have if your trailer broke down on the way here, then you're behind the 8 ball already.
Right.
You have to have everything perfect, and the last thing you want on the water is a breakdown.
Okay.
And that's just a simple part of it. Then you have all the mental part of it from the fishing, where you have to have all your line ready, you have to have all your tackle organized. It has to be where you can find it, where you can get to it. You know where it is, because every second out there means something. something. You know, you can't be digging around looking for baits when every cast is critical. So it's a lot that goes into it, but
I promise.
it's just second nature to some of us because we do it so much.
You've been doing it for a long time, and you've been doing it very successful. Jonathan Newton, we do appreciate you coming up here and joining us. Guys, just to let you know, we do have one more Cup Insider coming to you today. It will be at 2:30 p.m., and then we'll sign off, but we'll see you right back at 9:30 tomorrow morning.